primary markets. Stay tuned. Bharat Dynamics, that opens its IPO for subscription today. The price band has been fixed at around 413 to around 425. To understand what's the outlook going ahead, we have Mr. Bhaskar, who joins us, the CMD of Bharat Dynamics in the studio. Hi, Mr. Bhaskar. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us today. Well, you know, the street looks at numbers always, and the first half of this year has been a bit of a down start, I think, to FY18. If you could tell us, why exactly have you done only around, what, 1,640 crores in terms of the top line? Was there some one-off, some disruption? And also, what does FY19 look like?
Actually, first half, we normally cover about 40% of our revenues. It will be caught up balance in the second half.
Okay.
So, said that, but then one or two production lines had some initial technical snag, which it has been overcome and behind it, and we will be catching up in the numbers in the second half.
All right. So, second half, can we do something around 4,200 crores? That's still
plus only. It will be plus.
That's still a revenue degrowth, right? As compared to FY17, where you did about 4,000.
We'll be around last year. We should be catching up for last year's.
Okay. Going forward, you have a couple of plants which you have decided to open in Amravati as well as Ibrahimapatnam. When do they come on stream, and what kind of revenues do you expect from them?
These two new plants are becoming a necessity because of the two new production lines, expected to be, coming into the stream. One is a program called Very Short Range Air Defense System, and Wish Road. That is already a global RFP has been floated, and the technology partner is expected to be identified by government as a government-to-government arrangement, and is going to be given as a nominated program for BDL. So this program is expected to be coming into the operations shortly, and our Amravati plant is going to be built up on a greenfield approach. So I expected to turn out a revenue, maybe say financials 21, 22, 23, around that periods. Whereas, but that's a long, it's a requirement of all the three services for a long period. Similarly, Ibrahimapatnam, if we have to take, it is for a program called MRSAM, and this program is also going to be required for all the three services. It's also an additional new production line. Our phase 1 activity is already completed, and phase 2 is being in progress, construction activity, and expected to be in stream possibly in another 1 or 2 years.
All right. Sir, just to get back in terms of a guidance, you said this year was a down year. All right, this market will take that. But what about FY19? This year we end up with around 4,200, 4,300 crores. What kind of a revenue number are we looking at for the next year? That's FY19. And give us a sense in margins. You have been doing roughly around 12 to around 14%. So if you have to give all those who are looking to subscribe into this IPO, give them some numbers. What can we look at in FY19 as well as in terms of margins as well?
Yeah, what I can tell is 11,000 crores is our outstanding order.
Okay.
To be possibly completed in coming 1 or 2 years, about 2 years plus approximately. So that itself averages to almost around
5,500.
But then we have another inflow of orders coming in at the rate of average 2,000 crores. So while specifically we would not be able to say, but definitely it would be exciting. We are also looking for some export orders, coming in for execution in the coming year, because we already had one export order booked recently. As government policies allowed for exporting, now we started exploring this market, and we had recently bagged one order and against a global competition. So it's for a torpedo, and I think this would start getting executed next year, even though revenue may not be that big, but then these are all adding up.
So what is the opportunity you're looking at in terms of export? What kind of revenue targets do you have from this sector over the next few years? And order inflow, you said, was what, about 2,000 crores per year?
Average generally comes up for our otherwise regularly running anti-tank weapons and other torpedoes and other lines. So that's the average, but then that big ticket orders are expected to be there, like say a continuing Akash production, and continuing MRs and new products coming into like MRSAM and Wish Road.
Yeah.
So I think that's what is about the order book. But then export potential is concerned, yes, we just started exploring it. And we had the success in view of the government's permissions now. Okay. And I'm sure that we would be 1 year down the line, we'll have a full potential known to us, possibly as we are exploring now.
All right, so final question from my end then before we let you go. We're going to be working with revenues of around 5,000 crores approximately. Margin number, that's point number 1. Point number 2 is what kind of a ROC number are you looking at going ahead? And also point number 3, how much of cash do you have in your books, sir? 3-part question.
Yeah, we have our cash around 1,300 crores on our books. and we are a zero debt company in that way. And definitely our orders will be executed as we can see, in the way.
ROC and margins?
ROC will be in the same way, more or less.
22, 23% or 25%?
Yeah, around 22, around that, yes.
22% is ROC. And what kind of margin number are we looking at?
Margins
13%?
Margins would be around the same as it was earlier. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot for joining in, and we wish you good luck for the IPO. With that, let's take a short break. Come back. We'll talk about